Today we're going to be talking about something super relatable for most autistic people. Why do so many of us prefer to eat the same thing over and over again? I'm breaking down the top reasons, and trust me, you're not just being picky. Let me start with the big one, sensory sensitivities. For many autistics, eating can be a sensory minefield. It can be the texture, the taste, the smell, and even the temperature of the food can be overwhelming for autistic people. Crunchy foods might be too loud for some autistic people. Slimy textures might feel gross, or certain spices may be way too intense for you. And so when we find a food that feels safe, meaning it doesn't trigger any unpleasant sensory reactions, we tend to stick with it. Safe foods offer predictability in a world that is very unpredictable. Also, there is the issue of routine and predictability. This is a biggie. Autistic people often thrive on routines, and food is no exception there. Eating the same food every day eliminates the unknown. We know exactly what it's going to taste like, how it feels, and how our bodies will react. Trying something new introduces uncertainty, which can be anxiety-inducing. So by sticking to familiar foods, we create a sense of control in a world that can feel very chaotic for us. Kind of like watching a favorite TV show. You already know how it ends, and that's comforting. Another reason is executive function challenges. So we know that executive functioning involves planning, decision making, and problem solving. For many autistic people, this task can seem exhausting. Deciding what to eat, figuring out how to prepare it, and considering all the options can feel overwhelming. Let me tell you, when you are a mom and a wife and you feel like you have to make a meal, it's not easy. I struggle on my days off to figure out what I'm going to make for supper. It's always an issue for me. Food can also be about comfort and safety. Familiar foods can be like a warm hug on a hard day. They offer a sense of stability, especially during stressful times. When everything else feels unpredictable, sticking to a known safe food can provide a sense of calm and control. This is especially true for autistic people who experience heightened anxiety or sensory overload. Comfort foods can be like a grounding tool. Another reason is fear of negative reactions. Many autistic people have had a bad experience with certain foods, whether it's nausea, choking, or just feeling physically uncomfortable afterward. And that memory can create a lasting association between unfamiliar foods and discomfort, making us hesitant to try anything new. It's also been proven a lot of autistic people have stomach issues. When safe foods don't cause a problem, it makes sense to stick with what works. Another reason may just be limited interest in variety. Some autistic people simply just don't crave variety the way others do. If a food meets our sensory needs and nutritional requirements, there's not a desire always to switch it up. For some of us, eating the same thing every day feels particularly satisfying. And honestly, why mess with a good thing? So what are the challenges of eating the same thing every day? Sticking to the same narrow list of foods can sometimes lead to nutritional deficiencies if the diet isn't balanced. So that can be one of the major challenges, is making sure we're eating healthy. If we're eating the same thing every day, making sure it's healthy, maybe supplementing with like a vitamin or something. And then also in social situations, being around unfamiliar foods can be stressful or isolating. Maybe your friends ask you to go out to eat to a restaurant and you're used to eating what you eat every day for supper. That means you have to change what you eat, and that can be difficult. But there again, you're wanting to be social, and it just makes it very awkward feeling. I guess it's just best to be upfront with those friends or family, whoever invited you, about what your challenges are, and that you might need to see the menu ahead of time, make sure it's something on there you'll be able to eat at that restaurant. So that's why many autistic people prefer to eat the same foods. So my friend Liesel and I were talking about food. She was talking about food issues she has as an autistic woman. I was curious how many people struggle with this, because I know I do. I eat the same thing for breakfast and lunch every day. So I put a poll in the community tab, and about 138 people at the recording of this had voted. And so it was very interesting to me to see that at least over half, 52% of autistic people on this poll said they eat at least one of the same meal every day. But what surprised me was that almost 30% of people eat at least 2 exact meals a day, with 20% saying that they can't say they have any repetitive eating habits. So I found that to be very interesting. I'm just going to read you a couple of the comments. So Imagination Lives. Hunter says, I usually eat the same foods and quantities for all 3 meals each day. And he does this for 3 reasons. He likes routine, he likes certain foods and sticks with what he likes, and those foods seem to be kinder to his health and digestive system than other foods. So my friend Liesel commented, and she said she eats the same breakfast, lunch, and snack, and a variation of the same dinner. She says she wondered if she had anorexia or OCD, but the clinical psychologist said it is not. It's part of her autism. So Gwenny says she goes through her own food and beverage fads and always has since childhood. She'll eat the same exact thing over and over for a long time until she finds something else. Meta M444 had an interesting comment about how they've been researching idiopathic postprandial syndrome, also called reactive hypoglycemia, and found it to be pretty common on the autistic forums. Sarah says she's a creature of habit when it comes to food. And when she finds something she likes, she's going to stick with it. And she's especially avoidant of certain textures of food. Lisa said that there are only 2 things she eats, cereal or peanut butter sandwiches. She doesn't have any interest in food, and just cooking is not on her radar. Eating the same thing for M. Vance conserves valuable mental resources. So you can go check out the rest of the comments if you are curious what people said, and go vote if you haven't. It's not about being picky. It's about safety and comfort, predictability. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. What's your go-to comfort food? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any new content. And thanks for watching this video. Bye.